are parts of our job that AI should replace. The drudgery. It frees up so much for the superhuman, creative, big thinking, impactful, value creating parts of the role.
When you are talking to companies that may not have integrated some form of AI into their enterprise, like what's a good starting point? Like, let's say someone just got over the fear of like, oh, it's not replacing, it's enhancing, it's the exoskeleton, it's removing the barriers and allowing the team to function at a higher level of excellence. Once someone's there, like what do you normally recommend as step one?
Some people are like really good at AI, and most of them have never even switched it on. And these are CEOs and owners, guys. They're hoping they're going to find somebody to delegate this to. It's like delegating culture. You can't do it. You got to own this as a leader, I believe. And so I believe, Ryan, the best way, if you're starting out in this, is pick a project that will be valuable in your organization, that is not like crazy ambitious, just something that's valuable in your organization that seems like it could be relatively easy for the AI to walk you through. And here's the magic thing, bud. The AI does most of the thinking for you, if you know how to work with it, it will guide you on how to work with it. So my response to every entrepreneur and CEO says to me, I'm going to get an AI agency to do this, or I'm going to get an expert company to do this. I'm like, whoa, stop, man, stop. You are going to extract 1/10 of the juice out of this by externalizing it. And I know you haven't got time. I think we lose so much of this opportunity by delegating it, or even worse, paying for an agency to come and do it. Here's the other thing, because this pendulum can swing the other way now. There is a danger we forget how we create value in the world, right? And I've seen this in sellers. They're inside of two camps. They're either anti-AI, or they're on the other end and they're not actually doing any of their job. They're just building stuff in AI. We need there's a path to navigate in the middle. Don't forget what made you successful, but don't ignore the opportunity of AI to supercharge those things that made you successful.
I 100% agree with you. So like when we thought about bringing an agency in-house to automate, and what I found is that the biggest part of automation is making sure that the process is where it needs to be, because you can automate anything, but if there's not a good process in place, then you're just automating inefficiency. And so how we're thinking about it now is we've got this crawl, walk, run. So we're in the crawl phase and everybody has a license and everybody has permission to play. And we're bringing in a training person to just give us a quick brief. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use that same training, those same training folks, and we're going to create cohorts in the company, and they're going to go through exactly what you just talked about, which is like as a cohort, cohorts as in they have the same process. So all of our recruiters will be in a cohort, our salespeople. And the whole idea of this is like they will work together to learn and develop an agent over 3 or 4 months. Hopefully that'll just unlock a whole new thinking of like, I'm a recruiter. What's the best and highest use? What do I love to do? Vet candidates and try and figure out who's the best of the best. Great. What do I not like doing? Scheduling all of these meetings and getting people on the line. Writing call notes, whatever those things are. And then we'll start building automations and plugging in things.
Where does the human spill value? I can use AI to catch that, to create like perfection or excellence in terms of human performance. So how am I going to use AI to make me better at what I do as a human, to take out the stuff that's the low value added stuff that I'm doing so that I've got more time for the high value added stuff? What's going to be the same for companies? They're going to want the best talent. That's always going to be the case. They're going to want great cultural fits. That's always going to be the case. They're going to want people that are both willing and able. Candidates are always going to want opportunity. They're always going to want development. They're always going to want economic freedom. They're always going to want progress. They're always going to want to feel valued. In this age of AI, your recruiter can come off that call with the right questions to have asked in that call. And the AI can pull that transcript and it can write a briefing memo. The AI can create in a heartbeat can close that gap for that candidate who might have made a decision in front of their recruiter, but now they've got to go and sell this decision at home. How can you support that? AI can be a massive help in that. That can be a huge part of your sales process for on the candidate end of really supporting that decision in the part of the candidate.
There are more stakeholders in that decision-making process than just the candidate. And so there is things that are happening on the back end. Also, you just brought up a great point in recruiting is like just to get a candidate on the call, we're already selling.
You got to multi-thread it as if you were selling SaaS to an enterprise, right? You got to multi-thread that. And it is also interesting that you raise a great example there. You're going to get on 30 minutes. So a recruiter's going to get 30 minutes with a candidate. There's a great sales book called Sell Like Crazy. It's by a guy called Sabi Subri. He's an Australian guy. And he basically says, if you want somebody to do something, if you want your prospect to do something, you've got to sell the shit out of it, right? This is his philosophy. So if me as a recruiter, if I want my candidate to first of all make 30 minutes, but more than 30 minutes, with a camera on, not driving home in the car, not with camera off, not while they're also answering emails over here, and like dedicate 30 minutes to really focus. If I want them to do that, I've got to sell the shit out of them doing that. So how do I do that? Well, if it was a prospect, here's what I would do. I would book the meeting, but then I would send what we call a VSL, a video sales letter. It would say to that prospect, hey, here's what you're going to get out of this meeting. Here's how to prepare for it. Here's what the likely outcomes of that meeting is going to be. It's going to prep the prospect for the discovery. The same applies to a candidate. If I've booked a candidate call, if I'm going to view it like sales excellence, like I want to move my sales game to a point of excellence, well then there's going to be a video going between booking the interview or the discovery and the candidate selection 30 minutes. There's going to be a video that gets sent which says, hey, here's what this means to you. Here's why you should take it seriously. Here's what's going to be. It's going to be tempting for you to be doing something else, or take this call when you've got other responsibilities bubbling around you. I understand that, but it's probably a bad idea. Here's why it's a bad idea. And in Sabi Subri's language, I'm going to sell the shit out of them turning up to that 30 minutes undistracted, well prepared, because it's so valuable for them to be undistracted, well prepared. So it is very likely that without that nurture, the candidate is going to turn up half focused, unprepared, not because they're a bad person and not because they're not interested, just because life's complicated. So I have to manage that candidate's time for them.
What do you want to tell the audience today?
Do you know what? I'm a greedy bastard, Ryan. I want everybody. But I'm greedy for impact, not greedy for money. The beautiful part of that is when the impact comes, the money follows. Do you know, if somebody's watching this and they have a sales challenge, a scalability challenge, usually it's a founder who feels they're in sales jail. They're in they can't recruit and train and grow a sales team, and they're frustrated by it. I love solving sales puzzles, and I have a beautiful consultancy that solves sales puzzles for companies. We create extraordinary value. And we unlock the potential that I believe a limitless potential in nearly all businesses. But then we have this wonderful leadership solution, which is Vistage, and I have leadership solutions that sit outside Vistage of two, of course, but Vistage is our mainstay. So if you're in Miami and you own a business, or you're in Miami and you know somebody who owns a business, then wow, the unlock that can happen at a leadership level by putting yourself in a room of peers who become your sort of non-exec advisory board is extraordinary.
Love it. Last question. They just listen to all this. They're like, this is incredible. I either know someone for the Vistage or I want to unlock sales. What is the easiest way for them to get a hold of you?
Do you know, you can email me, and I'm sure in the show notes you can put my email. I even have a link tree. You can always DM me on LinkedIn, connect with me.
I love it. Carlos, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and share we covered the gambit on this. We went from like AI, we went sales philosophy, the challenger. So thank you for taking the time to come on.